Can you imagine living in a place where the sun disappears for 2 months and when it returns never sets? Welcome to Utqiagvik, the most extreme city in the United States. At the top of the world, this place defies logic and human survival. Here, ice reigns supreme, ancient traditions stand the test of time, and life unfolds in a setting that looks like it's from another planet. Curious to find out how it's possible to live in one of the most inhospitable regions on the planet? Then get ready, because what you're about to see will change your view of what's possible. Number 1. Location and geographical data. If you weren't a fan of geography lessons, you may not remember, but Alaska belongs to the United States, although it is not physically connected to the country's mainland. That's where the remote town of Utqiagvik is located, north of the Arctic Circle. Utqiagvik is the largest city in the North Slope District, a vast region in northern Alaska, known for its extensive frozen plains and rich oil reserves. As the main center of this region, it plays a crucial role in the local economy, serving as the main transportation and administration point for the area. In addition, it is the northernmost city in the United States and the second closest to the North Pole in the world, behind Longyearbyen in Norway. Surrounded to the north, east, and west by the Arctic Ocean, which spends most of the year covered in a thick layer of ice, and to the south by the vast tundra, Utqiagvik is in one of the most isolated and challenging regions on the planet. In winter, temperatures can drop dramatically, easily reaching -13 Fahrenheit or even less. And even in summer, when the rest of the world enjoys warmth and sunshine, Utqiagvik can still experience intense cold. Number 2. Population and economy. As well as being the largest city in this isolated region, Utqiagvik is also the capital of the North Slope District, which covers an impressive area of approximately 96 square miles. The largest county division in the United States, larger even than the entire United Kingdom. The city is home to around 4,500 residents, approximately 60% of whom are Inupiat Eskimos, the indigenous group that has inhabited the region for millennia. The rest of the population is made up of a diversity of cultures, including white Caucasians, African Americans, Koreans, Chinese, West Indians, Filipinos, Saudis, Samoans, and Tongans, adding up to a total of 38 different nationalities. Many of these people were attracted to Utqiagvik by the high salaries offered by the local government, the main employer in the region, and by local industries, especially those linked to oil and gas services. Although Utqiagvik is a modern community in many respects, traditional practices such as subsistence hunting, fishing, and whaling still play an essential role in the local economy. Many residents, even those with full-time or part-time formal jobs, continue to hunt and fish for a significant part of their food, preserving the traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation. Around a third of the town's economically active population, totaling around 2,000 people, was employed in the private sector. Despite the presence of major oil companies in the region, most of the workforce is employed by the district government. Number 3. Quality of life. Living in this isolated town is not for the faint-hearted. The extreme climatic conditions and geographical isolation require a great deal of adaptability on the part of the residents. However, this small community in the middle of nowhere offers a quality of life that may surprise you. Most homes in the region are heated by natural gas from nearby fields, ensuring comfort even in the lowest temperatures. The town has modern water and sewage systems, electricity, and natural gas. For those not connected to the mains water supply, water is delivered by truck directly to homes. Waste collection is organized by the local government. The city is also home to several regional health and social services. Among the public facilities are a hospital, a center for the elderly, a women's shelter, a children's and youth services center, as well as a library and a vocational training and assistance center. Public safety and fire protection are also guaranteed. And there's more. There are 10 restaurants offering an unexpected variety of culinary options, including Mexican, Chinese, and Japanese food, as well as pizza and typical American dishes. The community has 7 churches, elementary, middle, and high schools, as well as a post-secondary education center. During the evenings and weekends, the swimming pool, weight room, and gymnasium at the high school are open to the public. Residents also have access to the recreation center, which includes a gym, squash courts, weight room, and sauna. During the winter, the city operates an inflatable dome for ice skating and field hockey, which is used for soccer in the summer. In terms of communications, the town is well served with telephone, post office, a public radio station, internet, and cable TV. The area also has 4 hotels, a laundromat, a fur store, and a bank. There is a large walked grocery store, and 3 convenience stores. In other words, it has much more support and structure than many cities in emerging countries. Number 4. 2 months without sun. Now imagine living in a place where, for 2 whole months, the sun doesn't appear on the horizon. This is not a rare phenomenon in Utqiagvik. It's part of the annual routine. From November until the end of January, the city is plunged into almost total darkness, a phenomenon known as polar night. During this period, the city is shrouded in a bluish penumbra, with only a few hours of twilight a day. This prolonged absence of sunlight has a profound impact on residents' lives, influencing every aspect of daily life. Although many residents are used to these extremes, not everyone copes well with the continuous darkness, resulting in challenges such as high rates of depression, substance abuse, and even suicide. And here's a bit of trivia. The polar night inspired the creation of the famous comic miniseries 30 Days of Night, which gave rise to the movie of the same name in 2007, starring Josh Hartnett and Melissa George. In the story, a group of vampires take advantage of the continuous darkness to attack the inhabitants of the city, transforming the extreme isolation and absence of light into an atmosphere of terror. Number 5. History. Formerly known as Barrow, this region has always been called Utqiagvik by the Inupiat, the indigenous people who have inhabited these lands for centuries. In the native language, the town's name, it means the place where we hunt snowy owl, revealing the Inupiats' deep connection with the environment around them. And this connection with the land is ancient. Archaeological excavations show that the Inupiat have been in the region since at least the 500s. Near the coast of the Arctic Ocean, traces of ancient dwellings from the Bernurk culture can still be seen, dating back to around the year 800. These homes, however, face a modern enemy: erosion. With the region situated just a few meters above sea level, the future of these historic sites is at risk. At the end of the 19th century, the world began to pay more attention to this remote part of the planet. Expeditions from the British Royal Navy mapped and explored the Arctic coast of North America. Soon after, in 1881, the United States Army established a meteorological and magnetic research center, marking the beginning of scientific interest in the area. But it wasn't just science that arrived. In 1888, a Presbyterian church was built, and just over a decade later, the first post office opened its doors. These milestones symbolized the community's integration into the growing social and administrative fabric of the United States. Official recognition came in 1958 when the town was incorporated as a first-class city. This new status gave the community more autonomy and control over its own affairs, allowing it to develop and grow according to the needs of the residents. In 1972, the birth of the North Slope District brought a new era to the region. With the creation of the district, millions of dollars began to flow, and the city saw the emergence of sanitation systems, water supply, electricity, new roads, and a network of health and education services. It was the beginning of a transformation that would shape the future of the city and the small towns around it. Number 6. The threat of polar bears. Going for a walk in Utqiagvik can be an experience unlike any other, especially when you consider that you may come across one of the fiercest predators on the planet, the polar bear. These Arctic giants are a constant presence in the region, especially during the winter months when the sea ice advances and the bears approach inhabited areas in search of food. For the locals, the presence of polar bears is not just a curiosity, but a real threat. Security measures are strict, and residents are always on the alert and usually armed, ready to deal with unexpected encounters. And it goes without saying that although these animals are majestic, proximity to humans can be dangerous for both bears and people. Number 7. No road access. One of the most intriguing aspects of this town is the fact that there are no roads connecting it to other parts of Alaska or the country. The only way to get there or out is by plane, making the local airport the only gateway in and out. This extreme isolation means that residents depend exclusively on air transportation to receive vital supplies such as food and medicine. This logistical challenge makes life in the region not only more difficult, but also significantly more expensive. During the summer, when the Arctic Ocean finally thaws, there is a small window of opportunity for ships to sail to the city. At this time, it is possible to transport large equipment or heavy objects, such as cars and furniture. But during the rest of the year, the inhabitants are unable to purchase certain types of goods. Number 8. Naluka Whaling Festival. Culture in Utqiagvik isn't just about survival. It's also about celebrating life and community. One of the most important celebrations is the Naluka Whaling Festival, which marks the end of the whaling season. In northern Alaska, whales are at the heart of the culture of the Inupiat people. Every spring, men and women venture out onto the ice near the water in search of the Greenland whales that migrate from the Bering Sea towards the Canadian Arctic. When a whale is spotted, a crew pushes the umiak, a traditional boat made of skin, into the water. There is usually only one chance to launch the harpoon, which makes the hunt a challenging task. If the hunt is successful, everyone in the community participates in dividing up the meat. One Greenland whale can provide tons of food, ensuring the community's livelihood for a long time. The Niinit, which is the communal sharing of meat and blubber, ensures that everyone gets their share, reinforcing the spirit of cooperation and equality. After the whale hunt, which takes place in April, the Inupiat community begins to prepare for the festival. For 2 months, the residents dedicate themselves to organizing, cooking and preparing the whale meat, soups, vegetables, and other food that will be shared during the big celebration. When June arrives, the town gets into a festive mood. The name Naluka means blanket throwing in the Inupiat language, a reference to one of the festival's most emblematic traditions. During the event, hunters and other members of the community are thrown into the air on a large blanket made of whale skin, as a way of celebrating and honoring the success of the hunt. Number 9. Connection with whales. But the festival goes beyond this tradition. It is an opportunity to thank the whales, families, friends, and the land itself for its generosity. The connection between the Utqiagvik community and the whales is much more than just a matter of survival. It is a fundamental part of Inupiat culture. Whales are not just seen as a source of food, but as a central element in the spiritual and cultural life of the people. Hunting is carried out with great respect, following traditions that guarantee the continuity of this practice in a sustainable way. Whales provide meat, oil, and materials used for clothing and tools, essential for life in an environment as harsh as the Arctic. This relationship is one of interdependence. The villagers depend on the whales to survive, and the hunt is conducted in a way that respects and protects these animals, keeping alive a tradition that has sustained the community for generations. Number 10. Midnight Sun and Northern Lights. If for 2 months the sun disappears, in summer Utqiagvik experiences the opposite phenomenon, the midnight sun. From May to July, the sun never sets completely, resulting in endless days of light. This constant brightness impacts life in the city in many ways, affecting everything from sleep to daily activities. For many, this period is a cause for celebration. The uninterrupted sunlight is made the most of, with children playing in the streets late into the night and people doing outdoor activities at any time of day. What's more, the city offers an equally impressive natural spectacle, the Northern Lights. These dancing lights, which paint the sky green, purple, and pink, are common during the long winter nights, especially during the polar night. For the Inupiat, the auroras have a spiritual significance and are seen as manifestations of the spirits of the ancestors. For visitors, it's a unique opportunity to witness one of the most beautiful natural phenomena on the planet. And so our journey through Utqiagvik comes to an end. If you're fascinated by this remote corner of the planet, be sure to check out our video about the coldest city in the world in Russia. And now we want to hear from you. What caught your attention most in Utqiagvik? Leave your comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep following our next adventures here on Bello Mundo. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.